Hello, guys. I hope you're doing well today, and welcome to the new episode of the ADHD Melly Show live show. Yay! Today I'm going to have Chris come with us talking a little bit about how to get a great mood, how to be still keep your mind open, still feel great, even if you have ADHD or you suffer of mental health. So don't worry, it's going to be so cool today. And I also wanted to tell you before we start that I'm searching for a new guest for next Friday. So if you want to talk with us in life, if you want to talk with me and simply talk about your experience about mental health and etc., please. Yeah, I'm also from Montreal, Maria Deschamps. I hope you're doing well today. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here today. Like I said, I'm searching for a new guest for next Friday. So if you want to DM me if you're interested, it will be so fun. Also, I wanted to tell you that you can go to the edhgmillyshow.com if you want to support the show. You can be a sponsor or simply be a member of the ADHD Millie Show fan club if you want to. Welcome now, Chris O'Connell. Everybody clap their hands. Woohoo!
Hi,
So
Melly.
how are you
Thanks so
doing?
much. I'm good. How are you?
I'm super fine. It's really great. We have a sunny day and it's summer, my favorite season. So it's the best time to feel happy and having a good mindset, actually, because when it's sunny, I feel that having vitamin D is very cool and stuff like that. I admit if you are in the UK with the heat wave, it's a little bit tougher, if you have no
Yeah,
air conditioning. But, we're here, we are alive and just enjoy our life, right? So
yeah. We're
please,
not.
so
Go
please
on.
tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Well, firstly, thanks so much for having me on. We haven't actually spoken until today, so it's. I like the impromptu-ness of this. I guess. Well, I'm 44. I live in the UK. I've got 24 years experience in recruitment. But prior to that, I'll go backwards a little bit, kind of like to sort of set the scene around my kind of mental health journey. I was abandoned as a child by my parents, left in a caravan, fostered for four or 5 years, and then kind of had lots of childhood abuse. So my childhood and my parenting and all that kind of stuff it really affected me as a person. But anyway, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't diagnose it as mental health. I just thought I was different and inferior, but it really did affect me emotionally throughout all my life up until kind of 2 years ago. But anyway, I got through all that and kind of joined a big corporate recruiter and became their worldwide top biller. I was billing, nearly £1 million a year across this massive organisation. But it was a bit of a paradox in terms of, going in there and doing that, but having lots of kind of mental health. I had lots of social anxiety, I felt inferior, I felt different. But for some reason, when I put my suit on, I became this different person. Anyway, so I did that for 5 years, went my way up, was very, very, very successful. Left there, set up my own business in 2003, got that to nearly 100 people, £13 million turnover, loads of awards for our culture, still battling through this kind of feeling of despair and difference and everything else. Lost that business. I lost all of that business. And that's when kind of the mental health really sort of kicked in, really. Had several suicide attempts as well. And took me a while to kind of get through that. Then got in a space of about 4 or 5 years, I lost my business, I lost my house, lost access to my son, had a divorce, and tried to end my own life a couple of times. Now I'm through all that, and I've used my lived experience to help others. So I'm a non-executive director and business coach. I go into businesses and help them drive their business forward. But also, I'm a mental health first aider and strong mental health and wellbeing advocate. And I believe that vulnerability and owning your mental health and your wellbeing is the key to success in any leadership role. So yeah, there's a bit of an intro for you.
So did you think that before, when you had your first business, when you were younger, that you were masking your symptoms? So you were trying to be normal while you weren't? So I guess that I did that a long time too, because I was a little bit abused too when I was a kid. I didn't lose my father, I never really knew him. and it was my stepfather that came in. He was not very nice to me sometimes. He was always talking bad and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
emotionally, it really affected me. And I had the impression that it was because he didn't understand what I was going through, because I was diagnosed as ADHD. So I tried my best to mask, but I wasn't really good at it. So you were good at masking for a while.
Yeah, I was the master at it. I definitely wore a mask. Put that suit on. I became this stoic, resilient, motivational kind of leader. But I realise now that whole period of my life where I was winning award after award. I was Southwest Entrepreneur of the Year. I had more money than I was a millionaire at 26, 27. I was just so ruthless, but it was a complete mask. It wasn't me at all, wasn't on the planet. And it was a way of kind of suppressing the feelings, the pain, the trauma, covering them up. Emotionally I was a wreck. So yeah, without a doubt, I definitely put on a mask. But now it's totally the opposite. I've been on LinkedIn, recently talking about all this kind of stuff, and it's about opening up and being myself, and I'm much happier for it. So I guess I had to go through that pain to realize it happened to me for a reason, and it was a bit of a gift really in the end, losing my business and starting again.
What was the click that makes you just talk about it and you say, okay, I'm this person and now I'm going to share my story to the world? Because it needs to be a click or something that happened in your mind that makes you confident enough to be able to talk about it. Because I understand that at the beginning you're a little bit ashamed of yourself,
Yeah, I think it probably was a process of pain and trauma, but I think when I got divorced and then I moved out of the family home and had some time on my own, I kind of reflected, and instead of beating myself up, which I had done for the previous 42 years, I just took a step back and thought, hang on a second, you are a good guy, you've done these things, it's all positive. And I kind of just reached a point where I just thought, hang on a second, I need to be myself and tell my story. And I just went on LinkedIn. I was invited on a show like this actually by quite an important guy, and it was about a leadership event. And I decided to talk about vulnerability and leadership, and it really kicked off from there. And I kind of just found my voice. I think it was a series of losses, a series of rock bottoms, and just some inside me to say, actually, the only way I'm going to get out of this is if I start to respect myself and love myself. And yeah, and then since then, compassion, empathy, fulfillment, and also spirituality as well. I have to say, I'm not religious in any way, shape or form. I never have been, but I do believe in a higher power and connecting and all that kind of stuff. And so I think it's a combination of those factors.
So when you feel at your baddest, okay, I mean really on the bottom, have you searched for help? Have you accept that you weren't feeling well and go see a therapist or something like that? Which was the click that you wanted to feel better? Now it was finished to feel bad like that, and you wanted to take control of your life again.
Yeah, I mean, I saw several therapists, but it was almost a waste of time because I was kidding myself. I was kidding them. I wasn't ready. I wasn't willing to kind of do it. But I think it's age, experience. Now I've got two coaches. I'm now at a point where I've talked about my story and I've processed it so much that I can now put it in, or I have put it into a container, and I can move on. And I feel personally, there's two schools of thought, isn't there? There's schools of thought where people say, yes, talk about it, get it out, process it. And there's other people that say, no, don't go back. And I think there's no need to go back once you've processed it. But unless you face your feelings and your trauma and your emotions, it's going to catch up with you. And it's always going to hold you back. So I would advise anybody to if you're talking to a therapist, it's not working, change therapist. You've got to persevere with it. If you really want to change, it's got to come from you and from within. But mental health, we've all got mental health. Every single one of us has got mental health.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that in a minute. But I feel that the stigma is starting to remove, which I'm quite pleased about. There's a long way to go.
Yeah, I understand. For me too, I haven't seen a therapist for a while because I was like a little bit scared a little bit because I had bad experience when I was in high school. My parent forced me, everybody's teacher forced me to go to therapist, and I think it's the worst
Yeah.
thing you can do is to force somebody to
Yeah.
go see another person if they're not ready, you know. It's like the opposite. And the therapist was not a match for me, you know.
Yeah.
Not like she didn't understand me. It's more your therapist needs to be your best friend a little bit, you know. You need to be able to trust it, and if there's no
Mm.
trust,
No.
you're not going to be helped, and they won't be able to help you neither. So it's very a process, and you need to do by your own, and you need to find a click or something that you don't. If you don't like your life, you need to have the click to want to change it, right? It's not, you
Of
cannot.
course. I know I'm your guest, but I'd like to throw a curveball and ask you a question, if that's
Sure.
okay. You know, I'd like to know how you've sort of coped with your ADHD and your own mental health, because to do what you do, I've only just met you. To do what you do and do what you're doing, you know, it's. I know myself, even though I'm a ex big CEO, I've done this kind of thing, doing lives, putting yourself out there. It's nerve wracking. It's at the best of times. So how have you managed to kind of get to where you are?
I have to admit, I was after COVID. I was bored. Okay, I was very bored. I
Right.
wasn't feel very great too. I think that COVID and being isolated from my family, from my friend, everything boost up. You know, I was capable of managing mostly everything because I was seeing my friends. I was able to go out. I was able to do
Yeah.
things that I like. And for like almost 2 years, I was isolated, doing university in front of my camera, seeing people only on camera. I haven't seen my family for a while. I feel like everything collapsed. Okay, I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
want to work anymore. I didn't want to exercise anymore. I was in my bed watching series of TV shows just to forget the place I was in. I was in a really, really bad place. Okay,
Right.
I decided maybe I should talk about it because I didn't have the money neither to go see a therapist. It's very expensive, even in Canada.
Mhm.
And I just feel like what the heck I should do now. I'm going to fail school. It's not possible for me to fail university, even if it's cheaper than the US.
Yeah.
Not an excuse to fail, you know. So my grade was not really good, but I've passed. Okay, I passed through it because I started talking about it on LinkedIn, and I was like, I'm not alone. I realized, and I was not the only person feeling this way. So I just decided
Exactly.
I don't have any work to do. I'm no more contract because of COVID. I have
Yeah.
time to lose because I have nothing else to do in my life. So I decided, why not create a platform where I can invite people
Yeah.
talking about their own
Brilliant.
story, showing to the others they're not alone, and I can talk about with them about different subjects because I have my own experience of how I cope with this, and they
Yeah.
have their idea about how they cope it. Firstly, I thought I was only going to talk myself, but I
Yeah.
realized there's other people that have different experience, and you're not scared about talking about it because you already do it for a while, right? But
Yeah.
I invite people that are new on LinkedIn or they're new on social media, and they are still hiding what they are, you know. So I decided, and I got some comments saying I'm like this too. I understand how you feel, so I said, why not inviting guests? Firstly,
I
I'm
think
going
it's
to invite people a little bit more popular, so because they know them. So I'm going to boost my TV show this way, but after that, I'm going to invite anyone that wants to come and they want to talk about their experience.
yeah. I think that's phenomenal. I think I mean I put a LinkedIn post out yesterday, I think, about mental health first aiders. I'm a mental health first aider, but that doesn't mean that when companies give people a mental health first aid course, that's it, it's done. Just because you've got letters after your name or you're qualified doesn't make you better suited to deal with someone who's got mental health. I think lived experience, the ability to empathize and relate and understand is invaluable. And I take my hat off to you. And, you know, one of the reasons why I agreed to do this, I've only just met you, is because I just admire somebody with your courage. I can see that you've gone through it, and you've risen. And your motive here is to give something back and help other people, and that's what it's all about, I think.
Exactly, because like I said, Mom, if you some people that are on your side of your connection that doesn't know me, I'm French Canadian, so at the same time I have the barrier language too that I have to face, and sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to just being able to tell what I think. Sometimes I may miss my word or something like that. So if you see that I'm a little bit hard to speak, it's because of that. So do not worry,
No
or
problem.
anything like that. So I don't know if you see the comment section on the chat, but there's somebody that wants to ask you a question from Twitch.
Yeah,
Kyle Parker, he said, how do you stay motivated to achieve your goals? That's his question.
I think it comes from purpose. I believe that purpose and vision and having a why is vital. You know, I teach that and coach that to my business leaders. And for me, it's about my legacy and why I'm doing things. Before, I was very, very motivated. I was very, very motivated back in the day with houses, watches, cars, holidays, all that kind of material stuff. And that's where I went wrong. Now I'm motivated about changing people's lives and having fulfillment and that kind of stuff. So what motivates me is growth. So learning from other people, being a better version of myself, and looking at all facets of my life. That motivates me. I don't want so money doesn't motivate me as much. It's important, don't get me wrong, please don't get me wrong, but I think my goals are to have a good business, to have a good relationships, to be good spiritually, to have good mental health, I think it's those kind of things that can stand the test of time, as opposed to you make £1 million and you feel you want £2 million. You got a fast car, you want a faster car. I think it's all about getting that purpose right, and then from there you can have smaller goals beyond that.
It's balance, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Everything is about balance.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people struggle with goals as well. I think they can make. I think it's good to have a big goal, but it's a common thing. But it's really important to break your goals down into achievable habits as well. I think habits are really important. So some of the stuff I do, when I wake up every single morning, we all have minds. We have all this chatter in our minds. So I plant my feet on the ground, and I connect with the ground, and I breathe in and out slowly, just so I'm present. And I find that it catches my mind. And if there is any negativity, I can turn it into a positive. So I think it's about slowing down sometimes and speeding up. You don't have to run around for everybody else, all that kind of stuff. I think as well, it's about realizing that you're not on your own as well. If you've got mental health challenges, you're not alone. You're not unique in that regard. And I think it's really important to understand that. And there's no shame in acknowledging that you're struggling. In fact, it's a massive strength. So. And that's what's helped me. I when you're in a mental health haze, you think it's just you. I think my experience was, I am this. It's only happening to me. I'm unique. I'm inferior. I'm weak. I'm whatever. And actually, the more you put yourself out there and talk to people, you realize, oh God, there's so many people going through the same thing. And actually, there's loads of people going through stuff that's a lot worse than me as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I realized that, and I was not alone when I started talking about it. I was like, it's not only me that had ADHD or have a mental health issue, because I have ADHD and I have anxiety too, because I'm so stressed that something's not going to be my way because of my ADHD, forgetting things or being late or being not organized or stuff like that, because that's what ADHD is. And like you can see, I have my little calendar there that I'm going to have to fill and stuff like that. I have always my paper everywhere, because if I don't, it's the same for habit. It's very hard when you have ADHD to have an habit of doing something. It's like your mind wants to do it, but there's like a wall that stops you doing it. Do what you want to do, and sometimes it's very hard to just being able to make it work. And that's why I decide I'm going to Monday podcast, Wednesday YouTube video, and Friday is going to be live. This is, at least I have those 3 things that's going to be an habit.
I think that's a valuable lesson there. I think that you can be really good in business. I put all my eggs in the basket of business and focus, and I didn't look at my relationships, my health, and all that kind of stuff. And I think instead of just being the CEO or the managing director or the boss of your business, be the boss of your life and be structured, be organized. Absolutely. I think I put my gyms in my diary and all that kind of. I think there's no shame in that at all. If anything, I think some people don't like routines, and everyone's different, but I do feel that a little bit of structure and discipline can really help your mental health.
I don't like routine, but I have a routine for my mental health.
Yeah.
I have no choice because I will never go to the gym if I don't.
No, exactly. No, that's fair enough. Also, that's the other thing. You understand your strengths and accept and acknowledge your areas of improvement or your weakness. Everyone's, so I go to the gym now and again, and it kind of works, but I've decided, no, actually, I've now got a personal trainer because I need that motivation. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you can't do everything on your own. So outsource things, delegate things, share the responsibility with other people, all that kind of stuff. It's really important to reach out to others.
So that's the response of Kyle for what you said. He said, so thank you very much for telling for your question. I really appreciate it. And if you have any other question, go ahead. We're still here for a while, so do not hesitate to ask more questions. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, I decided to try to put it on YouTube for the second time actually. I decided to check if there's people there that wants to watch my live there too. So yeah. And what I wanted to say too, and what helps me getting a good mindset is when I feel really bad. Okay, I'm just going to watch a nice series with positive attitude, or simply a good book with a really good story in it,
Definitely.
which is very positive and stuff like that. I'm not going to watch a movie with a pandemic in it, right?
No, that's again, you lead me to another good point. It's really important what content you absorb, what you put your energy into. So recently, a couple of years ago, I did an audit of my whole life, and that included my friends. So believe it or not, I did an audit of my friends. I went through them one by one and said, what does this person give me? Is that person adding value? Are they positive? All that kind of stuff. And also myself, what am I giving them? And I actually had the courage and ability to kind of like extract people away from my life and spend more time with the people that are going to give me. And I think it's so important. And I think the amount of time we waste on, like, it's okay to watch Netflix now and again. It's okay to chill out in front of the TV. Of course it is. But if you're doing it 24, every single day, and you're wondering why you haven't got motivation, for me, it's about what you want. So, I don't really watch, as an example, I used to watch TV every day. I don't really watch TV. I enjoy it now and again. But in the evenings, I'll listen to a podcast, or I'll go for a walk, I'll go for a run, or get some fresh air. I feel like I'm doing something for me as well. And I think everyone's different. And I think you've got to have rewards. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important. The content you absorb, your diet, your exercise, the people you speak to, even to the point on social media. If I see something on social media that I don't like, I'll block that person as well, because it all builds up. What you put into here all builds up. It's really important. And so I'm very careful about the people I follow on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And I now, Instagram for me and Facebook to an extent, and LinkedIn, it's an enjoyable experience because I've chosen the people and the content I want to see, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook anymore. I don't really like the people on Facebook, to be honest.
No, a lot of people do that.
If you want to have trolls, go on Facebook. At least it's a group.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it's your own family. You see your family trolling the other place. It's like, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
So I have another question here that I'm going to share on the screen. Do you spend any time visualizing your goal or repeating affirmation? Are these techniques valuable, or they are a waste of time? What do you will say to that?
Oh, there's another good question. Funnily enough, I teach this and I coach this, and I'm now doing it for myself, because actually, as a coach, I probably wasn't doing it for myself. Like, who coaches the coach who leads the leader, right? But now I've got my own coach. But I think in terms of visualization, I personally feel it's absolutely vital to visualize what your goals are So, I've got a vision board with certain pictures on it, but you can go deeper than that. You can, what emotion does that visualization invoke in you, and tap into that emotion. So if you're visualizing a big house, or you're visualizing a relationship, or something, how does that feel like? And remember that feeling and tap into that feeling, because you're subconsciously feeling it's already happened, and then you start to visualize it already happening. So you think about it and visualize it. There's things like, I talk to myself all the time. It used to be deemed that talking to yourself was insanity. It's the sanest thing you can do. Talk to yourself, G yourself up. The thoughts and what we say to ourselves have a massive impact. So I think, yeah, absolutely, it's important to visualize your goals and affirmations, and write down the things that you've achieved. Gratitude is huge as well. It was funny, I was really struggling actually about 3 or 4 months ago, and then I decided to kind of tune into my high power and write down and say what I'm grateful for, and then within immediately abundance started happening. I started to so absolutely do the work, and you'll be surprised what comes out.
Yeah, put the goal and work to make the goal happen. You cannot do like in the book The Secret, just say I'm going to be rich, and woohoo, it's falling from the sky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and that's it, and that's very true. It's also about enjoying the process. So you're right, you can have all the goals. If you just talk a good game, it doesn't matter. So then what do I need to do to get there? And it might be a case of, right, every single day I need to do gratitude. Every single day I need to do this. But also, I know I can utilize this person to help me get there. But it's about enjoying that process as well. So there's no point in busting a gut to try and get to this destination if you're not enjoying it as well. So, and that goes back to why you're doing it in the first place. So if your goal is, I want to be a millionaire, for me, that's not really an aspirational goal, because why do you want to be a millionaire? It might be because, but there might be valid reasons behind that. But I think you've got to go deep. What are your values? So your values might be integrity. Why is integrity important to you? Because I value honesty. Why is honesty important to you? And you can go deep, and really start to ask yourself some questions.
For me, my biggest goal for this TV show is to make a real TV show. Always on the internet, but I mean in the studio, with the real person at the side of you. That is my biggest goal right now.
Oh wow, that's amazing!
Yeah, I would like that really much. So I visualize it, and now I say it's going to be a real stream, right? It's cool too, but one day I wanted to have a real studio with a nice sofa, which the other person can be there, and we just chit chat with the coffee and stuff like that, and just make it more friendly, right? And yeah, I hope to do that one day. So what's your biggest goal in this life?
Well, it used to be, as I say, monetary. I think there's things like I want to do a retreat, a mental health and wellbeing retreat. But for me, it's about imparting my wisdom and knowledge and gifts that I do have on as many people as possible, and leaving a legacy where I've kind of transformed and helped as many people as possible. So for me, it's about fulfillment, and it's about being content and happy, and being myself, and just trying to be a good person. So I've got 3 children. Money's important, but nowhere near as high as just having that fulfillment and contentment where I've built something that has, I probably need to define it in terms of a number, but thousands, millions of people. I honestly believe my destiny is to help others, and that's as far as I'll say, really.
Yeah, it's true. I feel that too, and that's why I don't want necessarily to be a millionaire. If that happen, okay, great, but it's not really that what I want. What I want is to at least have a place to live, having something on my head, mostly in the winter time.
Yeah.
Well, and being able to eat, exercise, and be healthy, and physically healthy too.
The thing is, though, if you do that in the right way, the money comes anyway. So why not have it all? But if you're just focused on the money, I believe that you're in for a difficult ride, because I'm not one of these people that says money is the root of all evil. But I think you've got to get your values and your your values right. And a lot of people miss that trick. And I think sometimes patience is really important as well. I used to be the most impatient person alive. I literally wanted everything yesterday and all that, all that kind of stuff. And I think again it goes back to enjoying that journey, as you rightly say. You've got to enjoy that process, because otherwise, when you get there, you could have wasted your time and energy.
Yeah, it's true. For me, patience is a big issue with me. I admit I'm really not patient. I'm trying my best, but sometimes I'm like, damn it, why? It doesn't work like I want it to work. And what is your tip to be a little bit more patient? Because for me, that's my biggest struggle in life.
I think it's about breathing. It's about slowing down. It's about realizing that actually life isn't a race, actually. And I think I believe that the universe will provide you with the right things at the right time. I really, really believe that. The more you force things, the harder it becomes to actually achieve them. So I think that drive, enthusiasm, passion is really, really important. But sometimes the need to get things done quickly can make you cut corners, make you cheat the system a little bit, make you not enjoy the process, makes you not experience life in the present. Being present and allowing things to happen in the right way means they will happen in the right way. So I think it's about taking each day as it comes.
Yeah, for me too. What I do, I also write a lot. I have a diary. I always thought when I was a teenager, diary is for moron. Why people are writing their I saw the movie girls say, "Oh, my boyfriend, I like this guy," or stuff like that. I was like, no, I don't want to have a diary. What's the point of that? And I realized that having a diary is more like I can write what the goals that I achieve, and I can also write my struggles so it doesn't happen again. It's allow me to just not make the same mistake, right? For me, that's more. I can read myself back in a year or two and see what the heck I did this.
That's the other thing. You can track your progress as well, but also you can record your feelings and emotions. I'm all for that. So I know that's a really good idea, definitely.
Yeah, so I did that for a while, and what I did do is a lot of yoga. I tried to just exercise my body, my mind. What I like about yoga is, as an impatient person, you cannot be impatient when you do yoga, right? You have to calm down and do your movement right, or you can simply hurt yourself, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And meditation is very good for you. And also, when you slow down and reflect, that's when you can be your most creative as well. Because sometimes when you're in the humdrum, the hustle of like trying to get somewhere, you miss even bigger and better opportunities. And the time when you're going for a walk, you're having a longer shower, or you're doing, you see things differently, you think of different things. And I think it's about productivity as well. I think you don't have to get up at 8 o'clock and work all the way through till 6. You're better off working really hard for a couple of hours, having a break, taking some downtime, reflecting. And that kind of stuff, I think it's really, really important, because burnout is, depression, burnout, and all that kind of stuff can come if you're forcing them, pushing yourself too hard. You're better off, understanding what are the most important things, what's going to benefit me today. Write down 3 to 5 things that is going to be a good day. Get those done, and everything else is a bonus. But what constitutes a good day? A good day could be, you just got through the day. A good day could be you've spoken to a number of people. It's like just try and almost just take each day as it comes and break it down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, that's what I do too, because sometimes when I think I have a bad day, I mean, I feel this day is crap, okay? I just think and realize to see what I did of my day. Oh, I finished that website. Great. My client is happy. I did this, I did that. And I try to focus on that instead of what went wrong, right? Because we always, as human, focus on what's wrong. That's why anxiety exists in a human being, or even in an animal, is to survive, right? You have anxiety to survive because you have people that want to kill you and eat you, right? But humans are so brown for working productivity, having everything done the same day, or you're scared that that your boss or even your client's going to just not like it, right?
Yeah.
I think that
Absolutely.
everything is way too fast and way too now, and that stressed me a lot because as I have ADHD, like you said, doing 8 to 5 for me won't work because I have ADHD. So this is definitely not for me. That's
Mm.
why I never been really good to work for somebody because of that. And I feel like in the morning I wake up like at 7. I start working like I go to the gym, and after I work a little bit, and after I go take a walk, doing what I have to do for the house, buying food and stuff like that, and working again. So I may work like 5 hours a day, but those 5 hours I was productive. I did what I needed to do instead of doing 8 hours and actually did 5
Yeah.
productively.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
So yeah. So did you want to talk a little bit more about having a good mindset? Did you have other things that you wanted to share with us?
No, I think that we've touched on quite a lot, but I feel that it's really important to surround yourself with the right people, as I've said. I think it is important to not all the thoughts that come in your head, they're not necessarily real, and that's going to sound quite weird. I think you probably agree with it. The thoughts that are in our heads that they're put in there in various different ways. They could be subconscious. They could be something that we've looked at, we've taught. Not necessarily our thoughts. So I think it's I think sometimes when you're getting the negative narrative, when I used to get it, I used to sort of almost instead of ignoring it, which is a technique. Everyone's different. I would acknowledge it and go, "Hello, how you doing?" It, and then it will kind of go away. So if you instead of fighting the negative, is actually recognizing it's there, and it kind of then it just goes. But I think that gratitude is such a big thing. And being vulnerable, being open, talking, it can really help your mindset. But doing something positive, doing one positive thing each day, it might be to get yourself out of a negative mindset. You could do some service, and what I mean by that could be something innocuous, like putting a really nice comment on someone's social media out of the blue, phoning someone up, and being kind, and all that kind of stuff. It takes you out of your own, because sometimes the mental health thing, you think it's you and it's an ego thing, and it's actually by thinking about something or someone else, that can help as well.
I have another question for you from Kyle. What is the most valuable emotion for growth?
The most valuable emotion for growth. That's a really good question. I think sometimes the negative emotions can be the most valuable. So rather than it being a positive emotion, going through, getting in touch with the fear, the anxiety, the shame, the guilt, and processing that, and understanding that, and and managing that can yield growth instead of talking about it, instead of like suppressing it. Like people might go and do drugs, or might go drink, or they might do whatever, they might addiction, they might do something else to fight that feeling of shame and guilt. Actually, this is what we're talking about. Pause, stop. What's this feeling? Sit with it, process it, learn to, because in a way, these feelings aren't necessarily going to go away. But what you can do, you can use them and turn them on a head and go, actually, shame becomes pride, guilt becomes, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's not being afraid to tap into those harder emotions and understand them a bit more, and then you can grow through that, and then you manage them better.
For me, what I would add is when you feel very bad, you have bad emotion, you just stop. You just stop thinking. Yeah, you just like a little bit of meditation, and you just think about what you have and not what you miss. because sometimes you will always think about what you miss. I don't have money, I'm going to get fired, I'm no good, and stuff like that. This is the emotion that naturally you're gonna have. But what helps me the most, and just stop it, just put I have ADHD and it's hard, okay, to have your mind with no thought, okay, it's very hard, but you do your best, at least if it's for 2 seconds, you have no thought, and after you think about what do you have. You have a loving family, you have a partner if you have one, you have good friends, you're healthy, your body's healthy. At least if your mind is not healthy, at least your body is, right? And if your body is healthy, you can do anything with your life. These people forget it a lot of time. Money is something you need, okay, to eat, okay, I understand. But if your body is healthy, you can do anything. You can wake up in the morning, you can go to work, you can think of new ideas, you can change your life. And if you're sick, it's hard for you to get out of the body of your bed, it's hard to do something. So if you're healthy, you have everything in the world. You have the most important gift that you have, a good, healthy body. And a lot of people forget about this. I did forget about this. And I'm so grateful that I can wake up in the morning and I can do stuff and I can create TV show because I'm healthy enough to be able to do it. So this is I always think about it every single time that I want to end it. I'm tired of working, not ending my life necessarily, but ending what I'm doing because it's not successful. Like I said, this show, it doesn't work. Why should I do it again? I did add that thought in my head. And I'm like, you're still healthy? Go for it. There's still 1 or 2 people that's going to watch you. That's the truth. Kyle is there now, and he has some really good questions, and I even didn't think about it. And I'm very grateful that Kyle is there, and he been at my Twitch account for the beginning, and sometimes so I'm really thankful for that. Actually.
Well, no, I've really enjoyed coming on. Actually, we'll have to do a follow up if you want, because I really want to. Maybe I can get you on my show, my podcast. I'll get you on my show as a guest as well. And I hope the audience has enjoyed it. But yeah, have you got any other questions for me? Or any other questions from the audience?
No, for now, at least Kyle, you want to ask another question? I give you 1 minute to ask your question if you have something else that you want to ask Chris right now. Because I know that sometimes there's a delay for when we post and when I see it there. So if you have another question, you can just ask it right now. But before we leave, I just want to remember my audience that they can give on my buymeacoffee.com/ADHDmelly if they want to be a member of the ADHD membership. And they can also give a donation on coffee, something like that if they want. And I'm going to show this comment down. He's grateful that you find the channel. But thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that you're here. And
I'm going to take a photo for my show. Bear with me a second. I hope you don't mind. There we go. Got you.
It's O'Connell, his last name, Kyle.
Yeah.
So you can follow him on LinkedIn. Where we can follow you? Just say where your social media, where we can follow you.
Yeah, it's Chris O'Connell on LinkedIn. It's Chris O'Connell. I've got a 4-leaf clover after my name. It's Chris O'Connell on LinkedIn, Instagram as well, Facebook. But yeah, I should be on your profile as well, Melly. This is recorded on your profile as well, isn't it? So they should be able to find me through that as well, I think, hopefully.
Yeah, because he is on my Twitch account. It's not on my LinkedIn. This guy is on my Twitch because I do use Twitch too. So yeah, you just follow us on LinkedIn and you will see even more posts because I post mostly every day. He does do sometimes twice or more. So yeah, I'm so happy to have you here, Kyle, or anyone that's here today and this afternoon or night, depending where you are in the time zone. So thank you so much for being on this show. And I certainly want to join your podcast if you want to. Please DM me again, and I'll be so happy for that. So have a nice day, everybody, or night, whatever, where you are. And see you soon. Bye.
Thanks so much. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.